This week has been one crazy week. I mean, we've had an Xbox Series S and Xbox Series S reveal. It includes their price, their launch date, everything. EA Play is coming to Xbox Game Pass. Two of those articles I do actually have an article on my website. EA Play and the Xbox Series X. I don't have one on Series S. I'll probably have one of those done by the end of the day. It takes a while to write. It takes a while to write those sorts of things. But PlayStation is holding their event next week. This wasn't even meant to happen this week. It was meant to happen next week. A lot has happened in relation to Xbox this week, and I for one am definitely looking forward to it. So, with no further ado, let's get into what we've got. So, I think the first thing we should do is go with the Xbox Series S. This story coming via Xbox Wire. Definitely the best place for, finding out your sort of information about Xbox stuff. So the Xbox Series S arrives on November 10th, that's the same day as the Xbox Series X, at $299. So that's $300 and £250. It's absolutely incredible though, and I definitely can't wait. Now, that $300 is an estimated retail price, so that's what their guidelining partners like Game and stuff, like Game over here in the UK, £250 here in the UK in-game is what they're guided to sell it for. However, they could in theory price it higher. However, chances are they probably won't. Now, the Xbox Series S is obviously, the smallest Xbox ever. It's so small, so compact, it's amazing. I personally love the look of this thing. It includes the new Xbox wireless controller, as you would expect, which is in what they're calling Robot White. So, that's the new kind of colour for the new console, Robot White. And wow. The controller will also be available as a standalone purchase during the holiday and include all of the same features, details to date, such as improved ergonomics, the hybrid D-pad. I completely forgot about the new D-pad. I'm looking forward to that. There's a textured grip on the triggers, bumpers and back, as well as a new dedicated share button. So they're not a massive amount of new things, but just enough to make it feel a little bit next gen. Or at least I'm hoping it's a little bit to be next gen. In terms of generation, it delivers the same generation speed and performance that Divine Series X. It's similar in CPU, just slightly under, I believe, with identical input-output performance as the Series X, making it easier for developers to deliver the same great performance while rendering at a lower resolution. So the Series S delivers 4 times the processing power of an Xbox One console, and therefore supports up to 120 FPS, as well as more immersive and responsive gameplay due to hardware accelerated DirectX ray tracing and variable rate shading. Sorry, I'm absolutely exhausted today. I had athletics training this morning, so yeah, I'm shot. I really need my dinner. I'm just down for the count, I think. Anyway, in addition to this, it includes 512GB of storage. Not my best number, but that is powered by the Xbox Velocity architecture. Insane loading times. Those videos that you saw on the Series X loading times, those are exactly the same. You won't see a dip in loading times. There's also going to be amazing audio as well with spatial sound, which includes support for Dolby Atmos and support for Dolby Vision via streaming apps like Disney+, Vudu and Netflix will be available at launch. Dolby Vision support will support for gaming, however, will come to consoles in 2021. The primary difference between the Xbox Series X and Series S is in resolution. Now, Xbox say that through talking to their customers, they found many of their fans prioritise frame rate over resolution. Yeah, to be fair, I do. I have a HD TV. Like, I am still on very low end for my gaming TV. My living room one is much higher quality, but I don't really do Xbox gaming on there. And basically, they built a console that didn't require 4K TV just to make it cheaper for people who don't need that kind of thing. Now, it doesn't require the 4K TV. There's 3 times the GPU performance of the Xbox One. It's slightly different to the Xbox One X. Gosh, these names do get confusing, I'm not gonna lie. But basically, it's 3 times the GPU performance of the Xbox One, and it's designed to play at 1440p with 60 frames per second and support up to 120 FPS. The combined efficiency from the RDNA 2 apparent, as well as the virtual memory multipliers, enable 3D Xbox Velocity architecture. The Series X delivers performance and experiences well beyond raw specs, apparently. They share the same development environment, tools and capabilities as well, which enable developers to build and release content across the consoles, more easily while still taking advantage of the unique hardware capabilities. That is actually very good, actually. I just saw that. The same build environment, tools, and capabilities. That's incredible. You can build on one. I heard this thing about the reason that we kind of knew the Series S was coming in a unfinished state. We kind of knew it this entire time without doubting it. Is that Xbox in their developer kit, they have one developer kit that was so advanced, or that was able to basically limit its own performance to match this profile of what the Xbox Series S is. They basically had a profile on the dev kit to develop for this console. It's absolutely incredible that they've done this, and the way that you can just kind of develop with the same tools and everything definitely makes it easier to release content, that's for sure. Now, as for games, there are a lot of games, and well, as I say, I'm absolutely exhausted. I'm really sorry for this. So, basically, in the digital store, you see all games that are compatible. So, original Xbox, Xbox 360, Xbox One, or a next-gen title, all purchased and played on either Series X or Series S. So say you have a Series S, but you have a Series X, your games will be available on there. So same sort of thing as you've got with current Xbox One, One S, and One X. Too many X's and S's in this, honestly. Now let's go on to EA Play, because that's the next thing we're going to get into. This is an article by me. So earlier this week, Microsoft announced the EA Play service, previously known as EA Access, will be joining the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription for no extra cost, allowing access to over 60 titles in the EA's library. Combine this with the fact that you already get access to over 100 games outside of the EA library on both PC and Xbox, as well as Xbox Live Gold. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate definitely looks like the best deal in gaming. EA Play is also going to be joining Xbox Game Pass for PC, but Xbox Game Pass PC will be seeing a price increase next week because it's reaching general availability. This was a plan regardless of what happened with EA Play though, apparently, and there won't be a sudden increase until you reach the end of the yearly billing cycle. So I'm assuming that this wasn't on purpose, but they're not just hiking up PC for this. However, even if they are, the bargain you're getting is incredible. So my big question is how Microsoft profits from this, because obviously they have a lot of people, but just if you look into where this is all going. So Game Pass Ultimate currently costs and will continue to cost with EA Play. There is no price hike in there. There is no hidden price hikes or price increases. you are staying on the same pricing. So Xbox, I don't know how they make a profit from any of these services, especially with third-party developers, because they obviously have to pay them some money. Like, those developers sign up to get a lot less money through Game Pass Ultimate players. Obviously, there's a lot of people with Game Pass Ultimate. It is probably the best deal in gaming to date, but it probably isn't the same amount as they would get if everyone buying their games. Anyway, so Xbox Game Pass Ultimate costs £10.99 a month. Now, inside of this, you have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which costs £8.99 a month. Xbox Game Pass for PC, which currently costs £3.99 per month, but as of next week will cost £7.99 per month. I definitely recommend signing up sooner rather than later for that service if you want to get it just Game Pass for PC instead of Ultimate. My recommendation is always going to be Ultimate, even if you don't have an Xbox console, just due to the sheer volume of games you get. Xbox Live Gold, which costs £7.99, and Xbox Game Streaming, aka Project xCloud, which doesn't have a separate cost as of yet, but still, that's probably going to be worth something in the future, so that'll be added. And they're soon going to have EA Play as well for PC and console. Now, this is specifically in Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, but that would cost you £8 a month, or £40 a year. So all of these services separately, outside of Game Pass Ultimate, will cost you £30.97 per month. So with Game Pass Ultimate, you save about £20 a month. Wow. People say Game Pass Ultimate is anti-consumer. It's the wrong thing to do, not the right thing to do. The amount of games, I understand not everyone wants EA games, I understand not everyone likes first party, I understand not everyone wants these sorts of things, but the sheer amount of just games that you get with this is absolutely incredible. I mean, you got latest Forza Horizon 4, you don't have Forza Motorsport, I don't know why that is. Hopefully the Forza Motorsport will come to it when that's released. But the point is, this is incredible. Now, EA Play itself, the service is just a rebrand. Yeah, so as for EA Play itself, the service is just a rebrand of previous EA Access service that existed, and includes almost all of the same benefits as before, including playing brand new parts for up to 10 hours before and after release. I think that's a combined total. I don't believe that's 10 hours before and 10 hours after, but there's a small part of it that's just different, and that's just EA Play Pro is the equivalent of Origin Access Premier, and that's only available on PC, not console. Now, the service that's included with Game Pass is the lower costing EA Play. It costs the amount of money that this is costing Xbox to subsidise from other areas is probably a lot. So obviously you can understand that. Now, also though, EA Play Pro currently isn't available on console. So for all we know, EA Play Pro could come to console when it becomes available. As for EA Play's arrival, that's not coming until holiday 2020, but even without it, Game Pass has some incredible games in its library. I doubt you'll be able to get through them all, so if you want hundreds of hours of games to play, you won't be disappointed. Things that you'll be able to expect include FIFA, Star Wars Battlefront, and the Plants vs Zombies series. So those are the kind of games you can expect. Let's go on to the Series X. So Microsoft have just announced the Xbox Series X price and release date, and wow, is it expensive. So previously we've been hearing it would be about $600 or more, but it's only £450. But wow, is that expensive compared to the Series S. Series S is a £200 price decrease. So that's incredible. That equates to about $500, so just knocking off about 50 quid. And it basically exactly matches the prices the price of the previous One X, which makes this feel a bit more direct, feel more like the direct replacement it's meant to be. But that is expensive, and rightfully so. So there is another way to pay. Xbox's Xbox All Access program is being expanded to more countries, and this allows you to pay for a console over 24 months, and includes Game Pass Ultimate, which is the best deal in gaming I have seen. It includes Game Pass for console, Game Pass for PC, Xbox Live Gold, Xbox Game Streaming, and EA Play, which will be for Xbox and PC included at no extra cost, as I just said. It costs £29 a month with no upfront costs or added interest, and personally I think it's probably the best deal for what you get for your money. I don't know what PlayStation is doing. We have their event next week, but I'm looking forward to it. Now, as for the Series X and its specs, they're definitely the best I've seen in the console. As far as I'm aware, the only part about it that's matched is the SSD compared to Sony, but that may not even be noticeable to most people. Now, the Xbox Series X is truly a console to love. It supports 12 teraflops of power and true 4K gaming at 120fps. I'm reading my article right now. I can't even believe I wrote it like this. Okay, sorry, I just forgot how I wrote this. It has a 1TB SSD, about double the space of the Series S, so that would be enough space for your games, but Call of Duty. All I have to say is Call of Duty. The new console also supports ray tracing, which is a lighting effect that allows the light to be reflected off of objects in game at much higher detail. If you saw the Minecraft ray tracing demo, you know what I mean. This is available on the dynamicdigitalworld.co.uk website. Now, the form factor is definitely causing some conflicts in chat sections, and it's commonly referred to as a refrigerator by consumers when they see it, although it's still small enough to fit in your average entertainment centre. I personally think it looks impressive as a new console, and I'm definitely looking forward to have one in my gaming room to replace my original Xbox One. I have the original Xbox from 7 years ago that came with Kinect. Now, I'm afraid I won't be able to do a full review of both consoles. I'm only going to be able to afford one or the other. I'm hoping for a Series X review, as that will probably be more indicative of what the Series S will be like, because I don't believe doing it the other way around would really work, but doing it on the Series X back to the Series S feels like it would be a bit more possible. Again, when I get one of the two consoles after the release, I'm getting them roughly 10-20 days later, just to see if there are any deals around Black Friday sort of time. But I will do a review of one of the two consoles when it's released, and my review will probably come about a month after I get the console. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. So yeah, that is everything for today. I will have another video on Tuesday, or another podcast, on Tuesday in 2 days, or maybe Wednesday, one or the other, as PlayStation have another PlayStation event on Tuesday at 9 PM. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what PlayStation announce and whether they do actually reveal pre-order prices. One thing about Microsoft coming out with this first is it definitely gives Sony the opportunity to undercut them. Now, if they undercut them by like 50 quid, I would definitely call that almost a purposeful reaction. If they're over by 50 quid, I think people who want the PlayStation that much more than an Xbox will go for the PlayStation. But then I think there's those people, but then there's also worry about going to be an extra 100. So I can't even remember a pattern. I can't see a pattern going on right now. The original Xbox and PS1, I don't know much about pricing, but I think they're relatively similar for PS2 versus original Xbox. Then 360 versus PS3, it was the PS3 that was about 100 quid extra, and compared to the 360, and that kind of gave a bit of a bad reputation for the extra 100. Last generation it was Xbox who were 100 over, and at the start of the generation that's being phased out now, Xbox were $100 over. So I don't know. Now the thing is, Xbox have historically released their prices first, and Sony always undercuts them, so I do wonder if Sony just say, okay, we know the Xbox price, if we can afford it, we're going to make it 100 quid less. And in my opinion, when I see Sony just doing these sorts of things, I'm not their biggest fan for it personally. I just think that they could do it in a much better way. So I'm hoping, obviously it's not 100% guaranteed, but there are rumours that they are going back to the drawing board on their price. Now, as for these prices, I'm glad with the prices we have. I'm just worried about what Sony are doing. If Sony do choose to undercut Microsoft by 100 quid and they're going to be taking a loss just to make it more affordable than the Xbox, then I think that shows something about Sony being a bit worried about their console in some way. Personally, actually. If they feel that their console had to be 100 quid cheaper than the Xbox just to get sales, then it definitely shows something, because Sony's also supposedly going to be doing a staggered release for PlayStation. So the latest news I've heard is that the PlayStation is not going to be available around the world at the entire same time. This is coming from just differences on two websites. So on the US website they have Holiday 2020 plastered everywhere. On the PlayStation website it's been taken down now, but they did at one point have late 2020, implying it would be coming to the UK after the UK and the rest of the EU after it came to the US and North America. Now, this staggered release also shows that they're having issues with quantity and supply, and well reported back before coronavirus was really having this massive hit it's currently having on console. The massive hit it has had, on console manufacturing. It was reported that Sony were having troubles with meeting the costs for the PS5, and that it costing them 450 quid just to manufacture a unit. Now, if that's still the case, I don't see how they can afford anything less than 500 maybe, if they want a 50 quid profit per console. Maybe 575 if they're happy with 25 quid per console, but really, they don't have much of a leeway to do that. They don't have many services. They've got PS Now and then PS Plus. And neither of those are what I would call essentials. I wouldn't call Game Pass an essential either. I'd call the only essential for Xbox is Live Gold, because you can't even play free-to-play games online without that, and that's smart. And I don't believe that's going to change. But yeah, I don't know. We'll wait and see what happens on Tuesday. I am hoping that the prices are at least the same, personally. At least on the higher end. Now, Sony supposedly taking a different kind of route to Microsoft, and the PS5 All Digital Edition is just going to be basically the same console without a disc drive. Now, I don't see how a disc drive is going to allow them to knock 200 quid off a console. That would have to be a very expensive disc drive built into the console. So I think it's still going to be more expensive than the Series S, unless they release a lower power console, which I just can't see them doing. So we're going to have to see what they do. But as for Sony and their customer and their backward compatibility, I can't exactly remember what they're saying now. The messaging had changed a couple times, but I don't believe something about all games possibly working, but not tested or anything. Same as the Xbox, basically. Put it in, see if it works or not. Give it a go. But yeah. Okay, that is absolutely everything for today's episode. Thank you for listening. Sorry it's only been one a week. That's just how it's going to be now. Just due to schoolwork and homework. I don't have much time to make these. But thank you for listening, and I'll see you in Wednesday's episode and in next weekend's episode. Bye.